Hey guys, it's your boy, Pappy. This is a straight to YouTube video, and I know what you're thinking, Pappy, book review, we didn't even know you could read, what the heck is going on? Well, little did you know, if I couldn't read, how am I supposed to read all of your insults in Twitch chat towards me? Didn't think about that one, did you, buddy? This is the first time in my life that I've ever really gotten into reading. Even in high school, when you have to read for book reports, I never did that. I was too busy skateboarding and playing guitar, dude. But now, being a 29-year-old man, I find comfort in just like laying down in bed at night and just reading, dude. I figured I'd do these once a month. You know, maybe I could inspire some of you guys to read. Yeah, let's get into it. Technically, I didn't read it this month. This was last month's book club book that I'm in, called House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it going into it. I don't know what kind of books I like reading. This was a mystery thriller book. I kind of enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie. I do kind of hold a grudge on this book, and we'll get into that. Yeah, spoiler free, by the way, for all of these books. I think I forgot to mention that in my little intro. The main character of this book is Casey, and she is an alcoholic. A year ago, her husband died. She's an actress on Broadway, got fired from her job as an actress on Broadway for being an alcoholic, and now her mother, who is also a very highly regarded actress, sent her away to her old family lake house, which is also the place where Casey's husband died a year ago. So she's kind of like this is like the only place that she can hide from the paparazzi while she's on this alcoholic bender, but like also at the same time she has to deal with the fact that her husband died literally like 20 feet in front of her on the lake. He drowned. A new couple moves in to the house across the lake. An ex-supermodel, Catherine is her name, and her husband Tom, who is like this tech mogul guy, move in. And the house across the lake is like a very modern house. Like the entire side of the house is just glass and windows. And Casey becomes Catherine's friend when she saves her from drowning in the lake for some weird reason. Catherine ends up missing one day. And the whole book is like, oh, did her husband Tom try to kill her? Where is she? Blah, blah, blah. There's a huge twist in about the middle of the book. Yeah, I was not prepared for the twist in this book. It was almost corny, I'm not gonna lie, without spoilers. It seemed like, why the heck would this happen? Like, I thought the book was going one way, and then it turned out to be an entirely different genre of books, almost. But apparently, Riley Sager, the author, does that a lot in his books, which I did not know going into it because I've literally never read before. With all that being said, even though I think the plot twist is corny, I kind of enjoyed reading this book, so I give it a 3 stars out of 5. We'll get into the next book now, which, I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil my review. I hate this book, dude. This was this month's book club book. If you didn't know, I'm the only man in my book club, okay? Everybody else is a female. So, a female recommended Colleen Hoover's Ugly Love. This is the first book I've read by Colleen Hoover. The internet, if you don't know, as of recording this, is in love with Colleen Hoover for some reason. I don't know why. I hate this book. It never makes me want to read another book by this author again. The premise of the book is Tate, the female protagonist, moving in with her brother because she just got a new job, and she falls in love with his friend Miles, the male protagonist. Miles, I think the famous quote from Miles in this book is something along the lines of like, don't ask about my past and don't expect a future. And so Casey just falls in love with this guy, not knowing a single thing about him, just solely on the fact that they like having sex and they think each other are attractive. Super corny, if you ask me. And also, the sex scenes in this there's a lot of them, because that's the entire plot of the book, and they're very descriptive. Too descriptive for a normie like me. If you're a middle-aged woman and your husband has erectile dysfunction, maybe this book is your demographic, but for a late 20s something man, no thanks, I'm good, I'll pass. But yeah, the only saving grace this book has is that I think it's every other chapter, or every chapter, it will switch from the perspective of Tate present day to Miles in the past when he was in high school. And it goes into like why he's like this, why he doesn't talk about his past. And those are the cool parts of the book, these flashback chapters. But other than that, this book gets a 1 out of 5. This book is duty cheeks. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. More like Ugly Love by Colleen Pooper, dude. Alright, so the first book that I read on my own, technically this was a long time ago I read this, probably like a year ago. But back then I was trying to get into books and it didn't work. You know what, so I'm just putting it on my October review because why not? It's The Alchemist by, I'm gonna butcher his name, Paulo Coelho. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, that's the best as I got. This book is not bad. I picked it up because it's a classic book and I wanted to read a classic, and it's very short. It's not even 200 pages. You can see how small this book is, but I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about this book because it's like a self-help book disguised as a fiction book. The premise is Santiago, a young Spanish shepherd, has a dream one day that there's a treasure in Egypt, and he goes to this witch or this seer lady in his local village, and she's like, oh no, like this dream is real, like there's actually a treasure in Egypt, you gotta go get it, it's your life's journey. So he takes it upon himself to like scrape up as much money as he can, do whatever he can to like make a trip from Spain across the sea down south to Africa and then cross the desert east to Egypt. The book is basically just like his story about the lessons he learns and like how to follow his heart, how to follow signs, look at the signs that like the earth and nature are giving him to find his way through the desert and through this journey. I think that's pretty much all I can say without spoiling like half of the book because it's actually so short. I kind of enjoyed the book, but at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know, I'm conflicted, man. I think honestly, my problem with this book is that it is so short. I wish there was a little more meat to it, I guess, and that's really weird saying that because now I'm reading books that are like 400 pages long, and I wish this book was 400 pages long. Wish it went a little more in detail. But other than that, not a bad book. I still would recommend it to people, but I can't give it more than 3 out of 5 for The Alchemist, boys. Definitely pick it up, definitely check it out. It's a super short book. Now, let's get on to a fantastic book. Book number 4 is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Now, when I was looking for books to read, I thought in my head, like, I think I like the idea of like fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian books. So I did some research on Goodreads and I found a book called Scythe. This book is amazing. I could not put this book down. I read like 300 pages in one day, I think, maybe like 250 pages in one day because I just didn't want to stop reading it. The premise of the book is, I think it's set somewhere in like 400 years in the future. Society and humans have evolved technologically so advanced that there's no death, no one gets sick, there's no wars, barely like any crime, there's no government. The government instead has been replaced by the Cloud, which is like, they call it the Thunderhead, which is like an AI, like a conscious AI. Like humans have developed it and it like dictates everything that humans in the world do without like a moral compass, just like what is the correct thing to do. So people literally don't have anything to worry about ever. The only thing that the Thunderhead does not control is a group of people called Scythes. These are very, very highly regarded people. They go around and they just kill people, or in the book they call it gleaning because it's more respectable. Two main characters, Rowan, a teenage boy, and Citra, a teenage girl, meet a Scythe named Scythe Faraday, and he ends up taking them as an apprentice. This book is cool because it's the first book I read that there is a bad guy in this book. His name is Scythe Goddard, and He's like the exact opposite of Scythe Faraday. Scythe Faraday is a very highly respectable Scythe. Before he gleans people, he'll ask, do you have any final words? I can't let you talk to your family, but I can write a note. And Goddard, the exact opposite of Faraday, he will take him and his 3 Scythe apprentices, and they'll go to like a mall and just like kill 300 people, all just like with guns, flamethrowers. Like, it's insane. This dude's a psychopath. But honestly, I couldn't put this down. This is book 1 of 3. It's a 3-part series, and I might just have to read the other 2 because this book was incredible. This is a 5 out of 5 stars, boys. Book number 5. You guys are probably gonna get mad at me for this one, but I couldn't finish this book. I know that sounds like I'm quitting, but you know what? I am a quitter, alright? There's a reason they call me Pappy Promise Breaker TV, okay? Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, the 1818 version. This book is just hard to read. I didn't take into account that when I bought this book. I went to Barnes & Noble, I saw this, figured it's October, and I was like, oh, you know what? I don't really actually know the original story of Frankenstein. Like, obviously, you know, pop culture, TV, movies, I know of Frankenstein, but not the original, how it was written version. And so I decided it's spooky month, it's October, why not pick up a spooky book? I got maybe 50 pages in and I just gave up, man. I'm gonna read the first sentence to you. This is the whole book, I swear to God. It's just stuff like this. You will rejoice to hear that no disaster has accompanied the commencement of an enterprise which you have regarded with such evil forebodings. And it's just hard to read, man. Like old English, I tried real hard, dude. I got like 50 pages in and I was just like, dude, I'm done. I know there's like modern English versions of the book, but I feel like that's just cheating. Like, if I can't appreciate the original version of the book, I don't think I should be allowed to read a modern English version. I can't give this a rating, obviously, because I didn't read the whole thing. So, I'm sorry if this is your favorite book of all time, but I couldn't get through it. Sorry, boys. Thanks for watching the whole video, if you made it this far. I appreciate you. You know, if you guys have book recommendations, leave them down in the comments below. If I insulted your favorite book, let me know. If you also like some of these books, let me know, dude. Like, comment, subscribe to the video. I'll be doing these probably like once a month, at the end of every month. Let me know what books you guys are reading as well. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.